as he looks at you, he walks forward with what looks to be a handgun and presents it to you in both of his hands. I didn't want to teach you this, so that's how you know it should matter. And he presents it to you not as a gift, more like a promise. This is a last resort. Do you know why I'm teaching you this?
Because you want me to be prepared.
And he looks at you and he says, that's right. Because sometimes the world doesn't listen to good people. And when that happens, you protect yourself without becoming what hurt you. Do you understand?
How can I not become that, I guess?
Because you always remember that this, and he holds the gun up, this is just metal and springs. The only truly dangerous part is the person that uses it. The Coke bottle explodes. Good. You breathe just like that. You rush, you miss. Do you understand?
Yeah, I got it.
He looks out and you see just the 3 bottles, and he points to the space where the Coke used to be, and he says, no matter what, when you pull this trigger, something will be gone. This time it was a Coke bottle. There may be a day when it's something more profound. Will you promise me something?
Yeah, what's up?
Promise me you will never forget who you are, even if the world gets really loud.
That's what I have you for. But you can always remind me.
And with those adult eyes, Shannon would see that there was a moment where he swallowed something, another line, and you can still, even though he doesn't utter it in this moment, you can hear your father's voice. I won't always be here.
Rob's gonna kind of stand there and, I know who you are, what you're doing.
Are you still trying to fix something? Oh, Christ, Rob, that's adorable. Please continue.
Why?
Why what?
Why are you doing this? I know the who. I don't understand the why.
It's time to rest, Rob. This town isn't in trouble. It's resting. That's all I am doing here. Do you see any crime? Do you see anybody sad? If I let things go the way they were going, Rob, this would have been a much different place. You were here. Everybody that died, the town dying. Is that what you want? And he looks down about 15 feet away from him through the force field that stopped Jerry to Ben, who was wailing in front of 2 tombstones, and sort of presents Ben. Are you all right? That's Ben.
I've seen the truth.
Obviously not. And he begins to kind of comically dust himself off.
Will you go by Benjamin now that you're all grown up and cool?
I believe that you may have been misled, Robert.
No, not by my source. My source is solid. But this jigsaw reality, you made this for everyone to be happy. Life isn't always about being happy, Benjamin.
When you were here before this, were you happy in that garret? The one where you were alone, Maggie was in the wheelchair, and you were watching everybody that you grew up with die or move away, and the town that you loved wither and rot. Was that okay? Was that reality?
Absolutely.
So life is pain. Life is
man.
death. Do you remember what it was like when you were a kid? Did
Very
Garrett
much.
look like that?
I mean, it wasn't as bad, but we were looking through the world in terms of through a kid's eyes. We were looking. We were naive. We were silly. You gotta grow up and learn these things. It's gross.
Why? Why do we have to learn these things? Why do we have to grow up? Why do we have to leave what was perfect for something that is shit?
When things are good all the time, then they're actually never good. You cannot have good without bad. You cannot have joy without pain. This is just how it is. If things are good all the time, then none of the time things are. Look what you did to Jerry.
I think Jerry would argue with you right now that everything's hunky-dory.
Oh yeah, the zombie man with black eyes.
That's just a jacket he's wearing. He's having a hell of a good time.
I don't like this. I don't like this. And he's gonna, as he's shaking his head and turning, he's gonna walk towards Jerry.
Rob, how can I help you out here?
I don't know. Change everything back to one singular reality. Maybe, bring all of us back together. Admit you're Ben.
Except for the last part, what do you think I'm doing?
You're not. You're not. Look at the kaleidoscope of things happening. Do you not see this? Do you see this in singular
You're looking at an omelet in progress.
Oh, you're
Give me
not
some
done.
time. I'm not done.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that makes everything better. Jerry.
Jerry is not responsive.
Jerry, dude.
Little Prime, he is where he wants to be.
Rob is going to take Jerry by the head and kind of, Jerry, please, I need you, man. Please come back to me, Jerry. Please, please.
Everybody has a choice.
That's true, actually. That's a really good point. Why are you doing this? That's your choice, right?
You answered it with this little meet cute with Dutch. You don't want to be here, do you?
I never did want to be here, yet I keep getting pulled back in. So what is your deal? You came for me. I was gone.
I don't know how the fuck you ended up here. Tell you what, you can go. I'll let you leave.
Just like that.
Just like that.
Why would you do that?
Because I don't want you here.
What are the stipulations? So is a catch.
Leave them. You don't give a shit about those others anyway. Mitch? Rob? George? Jerry? I mean, it sounds crazy when I say it.
Yeah, you're telling me. I damn near forgot all of this. I thought I did.
Why didn't you?
Been slowly trickling back. What do you mean, why didn't I? I mean, you know, I don't know what your end game is, and part of me doesn't care. Not because I don't value people's lives, but I'm just so tired of fighting against what feels like impossible forces over and over again. And for what? Nobody gives a shit anyway. Why do you care? Why are you even doing all of this?
To be very, very transparent, Shannon, I couldn't agree more. You don't need any of this. I definitely don't need you here. You never believed in this place. You never believed in that time. Do you see this place? Do you hear? Do you smell? It's perfect. You wanted what came next. You wanted to grow up. I don't need that shit here. We've never needed that shit here.
She aims it at Dutch's head and looks at the nothing. You know, killing people is how I got here. So what's one more? Are you willing to test me? Because right now, this person in front of me that you're showing me, bullshit. Not real. None of this is fucking real.
I can swear to you, Shannon Locke, that is Dutch. Not an illusion, not a fake. The one you grew up with, the one whose ass was sitting on this swing, the one who desperately wanted to tell you he loved you and couldn't. But pull that trigger and end it for good.
He's already dead.
Is he? Who killed him? Did any of that ever happen? I haven't killed anybody.
I have.
And that's why I can't have you here. You're a grown-up. We don't need grown-ups here. The offer still stands, Shannon. Just get the fuck out of here.
What happens to the rest of them?
That's up to them.
I don't trust you.
Do you love them? Do you need to trust me right now? Trust
I might
this.
not love them, but trust what?
The offer. It's not the edge of 17 anymore, Shannon. It's not 18 when he wanted to ride off with you, but it's close enough.
But I'm not that person anymore. You can't fix that.
You are standing there and taken by complete surprise when every window and every door in the Butts house, again, George, you see the spark and you see a bloodied and battered Mitch smash down on the steps leading up to the now destroyed front door of your house. He just crashes to the ground. Uncle Mitchell.
That's the one thing that came up on my feed. Go ahead.
Rise, minions, and welcome to unMadeGaming. We are here. We are back for the episode of Atari Midnight. And this one's all about George. And I'm sure he'll survive. That being said, if you like what we do here and you guys want to support the channel, the best way to do that is by joining us over on our Patreon, link in the description down below. While you're down there, click on that Discord link. Join us in the Discord. Be a part of the community. Be a part of the conversation. And momentarily, as soon as it figures itself out, in the bottom right-hand corner, you will see the Maggie/Michigan bar. That bar serves multiple purposes in this episode. One, when that bar fills, all the funds raised in that bar go back to this wonderful, amazing cast that you see here before you. As well as if you would like to tip and use #Maggie, as soon as the Maggie portion of the bar fills, good things can happen to us. However, if you don't want that to happen, maybe you can use Michigan. And then bad things happen to us. Please don't. We're already fragile enough. Just so everyone remembers, from 2 episodes ago, we have 2 Maggies that we gave up as boons. Those are actively in play. At the end of the last episode, we had 1 Maggie that we did not use to heal anybody. That has also been given to Greg as a boon. So we should have 0 Maggies and 0 Michigans at this current time. That being said, I will turn things over to Greg to take us away to the 90s we never won.
Hey everybody, it's Greg, Warp Reactor over on YouTube. Before we get started with our Free League Things from the Flood campaign of Atari Midnight, I want to ask all of my players a couple administrative questions before we start. One, be thinking about who you would like, and be tactical about this, everybody. Right now we have Rob and Jerry together. We have George and Mitch together, and Shannon is by her lonesome. But right now, decide who you would like to roll your leadership dice. I will also say this, and I have not told the cast this yet, but all of you are in deadly conflicts, and episode 10 can always be referred to as 2 times 5. So know this, each and every one of you are in a situation that could kill your character. And I'm not saying that to gloat or be like an asshole GM. I want you all to succeed. So I want you all to be able to peek behind the curtain. So think about the leadership dice as the first little peek that you get. Use them to your best benefit, my friends. I will be back in just a second as I set us up for what we have here. The previously on took care of most of this, but this is a very specific episode, as are all of the last 5, as they each deal with a member of our party. So sit back, everybody. Before you do that, grab a drink. You could refresh yourself with some electrolytes. You can get something stronger. I won't tell anybody, but you have our permission to relax and join us for this adventure. Now, many of us on our journey experience fundamental changes between the years of youth and adulthood. The fears of monsters in closets and sharks in swimming pools give way to the relative strength of our older years. Many of us take the opportunity to redefine ourselves completely. If we were physically weaker, some train their muscles. If someone was emotionally weaker, then they may train their mind. Some get tattoos, new clothes, listen to different music. All of these things, both big and small, help find and discover what being alive means to them. But one among our team cannot change. One among our team can only continue in the same manner as their youth. It's not that they don't want to change or evolve, it's that they can't. George Butts, preppy, rich kid, and robot, is limited by the very construction of his software and the pains his father took to provide for his physical growth. He cannot change in the traditional sense, but he can always wonder what being a real boy would be like. Welcome one and all to Atari Midnight, Episode 10, Curious George. All right, everybody, to recap too, as I'm sure that the previously on did, Shannon is squaring up against the nothing. We have Mitch and George in a confrontation with the Gamork, and we have something else similar going on in Rose Hill Cemetery with Rob and Jerry. But friends, before we get started with the action and you all get to paint a picture for me, let me know what you would like to do with your leadership dice and who would like to roll them.
Are we under the same constraint where if you rolled leadership last time, you can't this time?
You know what? Because we had a bit of a switch up, I'll allow anybody to roll dice. I'm feeling benevolent. Look at me. I'm helping out. Anybody may roll leadership dice.
Well, I think Mitch is out for leadership rolls, right? Okay, so I'm willing to roll.
I have a 2 in heart.
I think I do pretty good. My heart's 4.
What's your lead?
My lead, though? My actual lead is 2.
Okay, that's not bad.
So 6 is not bad.
Mm-hmm.
That's not bad.
Last of the primes. Go ahead.
All right.
2 successes.
Oh wow! I just scrolled back to like 2020.
I do believe we get 2 lead rolls, though. So you could still roll.
Yeah. I got 0. I rolled 8 dice, and
I will let you know that we right now, as far as conditions go, we all know that whenever we get to 6 conditions, that character will die. But right now, no problem. Aaron, George, Rob, and Shannon only have 1 condition. So, George, if you'd like to push and get a condition, I'll allow you to re-roll lead dice. You don't have to, of course. This is something that you may choose to do. You're muted, bud.
I'm muted, Mike.
It's good. I said George was a gambling man, and he should not be, because that's another 0 successes.
Okay, so with that, George has a second condition. All right, my friends. So as we dive into Curious George, the situation it's going to be fast and furious here, friends. So I intend to jump around quite a bit, but if you need clarification on absolutely anything, please stop me, get that clarification, get anything that you need for this, a very sinister episode, situation wise. I have notes everywhere, so I might be a little slower on the uptake just so I make sure I have everything correct for you all. But I want to play this the right way. So, friends, let us begin where we ended last episode as far as the title, Pop and Lock, as Shannon. The last thing that you remembered was being in the park or the playground as you were sitting upon the swing, and the nothing was talking to you and hinting strongly that maybe you should leave the area, that you should leave Garrett and go back along your merry business. The nothing did not want you here. And as an incentive, a perfectly preserved and seemingly waiting for you Dutch was in a state of suspended animation. All of that remains the same except for the locale. You blink, you open your eyes, and you are on Main Street of Garrett in the darkness with the snow blowing. Along and arrayed along each sidewalk are bicycles from decades gone by, some modern, some ancient, one with a great big wheel, but they all seem to be standing as if in a bit of a museum piece. And with all of those bikes and this conglomeration of the amalgamated Garrett that's around Main Street, 2 things strike you. The first is this has a very Western high noon feel. The second is Dutch is still here, still in the state of suspended animation, but he seems to be resting inside a pillar of light among these bikes. And the third thing that you notice, now that the darkness gives way a bit, the figure of the nothing steps from that darkness, maybe 30 or 40 paces down the street. If there was a tumbleweed to blow past, it may. But as he looks at you with the neon kind of blinking in certain open signs along Main Street with again, this whip of snow, this is the Garrett that you remember, but there's no one around. There's no help to be had. You decided to stay, and so stay you shall. And as the nothing looks at you, he moves to a left shoulder lead and offers one last time. You can go. You can take him and you can leave. You don't have to stick around and watch the rest of them fail.
That option was gone the moment that you all brought me here.
You don't have to rebel. It's clarity. So what do you want to do, Shannon? Do you want to stop me? How can you even do that? With your gun?
I don't think my gun is going to help me here.
Then here I stand. I won't let you stay, and you surely will not go. An impasse it is. How do we solve the equation that is Shannon Locke?
Are you gonna tell me who you are before we start this?
And ruin the fun?
So
Shannon,
you like games?
obviously not. You grew up. The others didn't. Why should you be stuck in somebody else's childhood?
It's a great question.
He takes a step forward.
Dutch isn't enough, just so you know.
He stops. Well, this is better. This is bargaining. This is being an adult that you claim that you wish to be. What else does Shannon Locke need? Clarity? Closure?
Where's Chris?
How would I know?
I had him and then he was gone. You're telling me you had nothing to do with that?
Did you see me take him? What do I have to do with Main Street
No,
Jimmy?
Who are you keeping here? Right now.
Who am I keeping here in Garrett? I'm keeping Garrett
Yeah.
safe. Everyone that stays here.
From what?
From what's happened. Look around, Shannon. Do you know what this place looked like when I showed up? Screaming.
No.
Horror. This place was asunder. I stitched it back together.
How did that happen?
Now that I am not willing to say. But it was not of my doing.
Why don't we make a different deal?
He takes a step forward. Speak.
I won't get in the way of whatever the hell you're doing with whoever you're doing it with, but I want to find out who was responsible for what happened.
See, that's the problem. That's exactly what Shannon Locke would do here. You say you're not going to get in my way, but every corner I turn from this point forward, there you're going to stand at the front of that little band you lead. Which is
I don't lead
ridiculous. You don't?
No. If anything, Mitch was the one that led everybody.
Mitch. If you want to keep convincing yourself of that, I love a good story too.
I can't leave knowing that I didn't do everything I could to stop the person that did this. And if you're saying you didn't do this, then somebody else did.
That's correct. I'll handle all of that. What makes you think you could do what I have been planning all this time? That you can just walk into Garrett? Shannon, you're a fucking NPC. And as we zip up through the snowy night, we arrive just a few football fields away at Rose Hill Cemetery as Rob and Jerry, a moment ago, conversing with the nothing as their friend Ben McKenzie is inside his own little hell, walled off and shielded from the others as he wails before the tombstones of his brother and his wife. But in a blink, the nothing disappeared, off to points unknown. But it's at this moment that Rob and Jerry, you have a moment of calm. And I will allow you all to do or say anything you would like to the other in this moment of calm. And everybody, if you could go to your Spotify playlist and I don't know, turn on track number 4, The Man Who Sold the World. Rob, Jerry, the stage is yours.
You okay? You all right? Everything good?
No, nothing's good, Rob.
Well, relatively.
Relative to what?
I don't know, man. You were standing there with black eyes and kind of all zombied out. I figured relatively this seems like a better Jerry.
Tell me what happened.
The tall blob of nothing guy. Well, I guess he's kind of a guy, but it looks a little blobby, smoky thing. He was standing in front of you, and I tried to tackle him, but it didn't seem to have too much of an effect. And then he was saying you were in paradise and didn't want to leave, and I didn't believe him. I thought you were trapped, so I woke you up. I mean, that's kind of the gist.
Cool.
Were you in a like paradise? I don't know. I don't think that's the exact words he used, but I mean,
Doesn't matter.
okay.
What do we do?
I think we just need to start collecting our friends. At this point, we kind of need to discuss some things.
Where are we?
Outside, inside Garrett.
Specifically Rose Hill Cemetery, which is a fun segue if both of you would roll investigate.
Okay. Oh, that's not the right page. One.
So it takes a second, Rob, for you to notice. Again, just off to Rob's left and Jerry's right is Ben inside this bubble of grief, but it's not Ben that you notice. It's the tombstones and the mausoleums that are surrounding you, and the earth that begins to move in front of several of them as inky black smoky hands begin to reach out from the ground. The past comes to life because the past can't stay buried. You see 5, 10, and before you can peel your eyes away, 24 of these forms all around you begin to rise. Jerry, you now see them. And as you both turn and look, these are the inky black, almost featureless faces of the Nuthlings, but there are several that you recognize. Roll me contact, each of you.
Nothing for me today.
Nada.
At the moment, it is just a faceless body, and they are surrounding you. And I will let you both know that you are currently on what they call an escape track. I'm not going to tell you where on the track you are or how many steps you need to take on this track, but I will let you know that if you are not out of Rose Hill Cemetery by the time the track is over, one or both of you will die. Rob, you have magic. Jerry, you have lightning. Use them both liberally as these things begin to close in on you. And before we pull away, I need to know what your first action is. Ben remains, but if the both of you do, Ben will truly be alone. What do you do?
I don't think Jerry would go anywhere without making at least an attempt at reaching Ben again.
Yeah, I think if we notice Ben, Rob's gonna kind of be like, let's start with this one.
So what would you all like to do as you, again, these creatures are pulling themselves out of the earth, but you see before you this this completely impervious bubble that seems to be surrounding Ben, but you two are heroes of Garrett. Do you have an idea?
I'll hold him off, try to reach Ben, and I think Jerry will turn to face the creatures that are rising up, lightning crackling at his fists.
Then
Okay.
before we leave, roll me a d12, and Rob, you narrate your actions as you would like to do, Frags, and then we will have the lightning blast, and then we will see what's up.
Okay, Rob's gonna kind of pat him on the shoulder and be like, "Oh, thank God you volunteered for that. Thank God." Okay. All right. I'll be right back. And then he's gonna turn and kind of jog over to Ben, or attempt to jog over to Ben.
Right. And if you have any type of like hands out in front, you feel this invisible, very solid force that is preventing any further advancement towards Ben. Is there anything you want to do at this moment or try in this moment to reach him? Yell your powers, your anything, bang on it, just whatever you can think of and whatever you tell me, we will take care of now before Jerry calls his lightning.
Oh my God, I know what I want to do, but I don't know if. Oh my God. Was there there was a specific song in season 1, because I know at the end of season 1 I ended up with his Walkman, and I'm trying to remember if there was a specific song that he listened to that he liked, because I was gonna make Rob start singing it.
To be very honest, I remember the playlist that he has, but I can't remember which song that you actually turned on when you were bequeathed the Walkman. But
I mean, I remember what my original song was. So he's gonna scream Ben like 2 or 3 times to try to get his attention, and if that doesn't work, he's gonna fumble through Rocksteady by the Whispers.
Fantastic. Roll me a charm to see if you can reach him.
2 successes.
With 2 successes. And then I want a D12 from Jerry as defending the back begins. As Rob is beginning his attack, Jerry, you must do so as well.
So I rolled a 3.
So before we leave this situation, Jerry, as you turn and summon the lightning into your fist and you fire it, for the first time you see it redirected. It leaves your control, and instead of lancing forward, it lances up and then straight back down into what looks like some type of lightning rod being held by one of the Nuthlings. As soon as the lightning hits the rod and spins down, illuminating the face or the features of the Nuthling, you see Mr. Derry looking back at you. And we are gone, everybody, as we whisk into the night air just a few football fields away, outside the house of George Butts, where just a moment ago, as George went Agent Smith on the side of the Gomorrah, there is a flash. Aaron still lies down in the shrub. Mitch crumpled at the bottom of the stairs, or had moved forward and now kind of knocked back by the brave defense of his friend. And with that blink, everything resets on the street. The Gamork is just across the area underneath one of the streetlights now. And as he looks around at you, to George, he specifically mentions, and he says, you always come back to the places you think explain you. But this one never did.
We lose people.
And you see the lights from all of the
Just
cars
okay.
along the stretch of street as the lights begin to flash and flicker, and you realize the control over this particular street, your street, a street where you should be safe, belongs to this creature. Uh-oh, do we lose Meta?
Looks like it, yeah.
Okay. Well, in this moment, George and Mitch, as you all both stand there, Aaron's trying to pull himself up, but Mitch, you're probably closer to Aaron at this point. And as Aaron begins to pull himself up, you see that flap of skin that was kind of flayed off of his back by the Gamork sort of hangs grotesquely, but instead of bleeding profusely or exposing muscle or bone, you see a blue glow begin to creep out from this flap. And he pulls himself up, and there's a decidedly human quality to this as he pulls himself up, and tears begin to well and pierce his cheeks as he looks at you first, Mitch, because he saw you, and he says, Uncle, Mitch, help me.
In the seconds before that happens, as Butts goes robo windmill on the Gamork, what does Butts's face look like? As Mitch was like knocked on his ass, and so Butts is kind of standing over him, more or less.
Yeah, it's, I don't want to say expressionless, it's just a face of determination. He's not scared. He's not angry. This is just a robot in action right now. He's focused on the task of, well, at the time of looking at his face while pummeling Gamork, that was his face. Now he's just staring it down. So it's very stoic.
Would you say, given the events of 88 and rollout, would Mitch recognize that your somewhat vacant expression is like,
this is not new? You have seen this before. No.
So the moment there's a flash of recognition that George has essentially shut off his humanity, he would be scrambling to his feet. And I think by the time Aaron says Uncle Mitch, he would already be moving to him, and regardless of how heavy his fucking metalloid frame might be, he is picking up this kid and like sort of like pulling up whatever flap is there and like holding it to his back as he over his shoulder calls to George and says, "We have to go now."
I think a not a snap, but a steady turn, and you start. I'll catch up. I'll make sure you're not followed.
Yeah, in this moment, I want a charm from Mitch, and I want an empathize from George, and each of these are going to be -1 success.
Oh boy.
An impossible roll, you asked for, Greg.
Zeros across the board.
Yeah.
Each of you take a condition.
Oh,
Sick.
no.
As the Gamork flares the lights, the street lights blare in almost blinding fashion, making Mitchell's gaze against the Nothlings look pale in comparison. And it's in that moment where Aaron even cries out in pain as his own visual receptors are almost damaged by this incredible flare that happens. In fact, I would like Shannon, Rob, and Jerry to roll investigate in this moment as well. And as this flare happens, each of you are disoriented to the point where you have this exchange run, but I'll keep up. But now you have these floating, even George, even Aaron have these floating spots and these kind of mirrored projections. There's trails coming off of everything. It's almost like an acid trip as you can't really focus. Everything is delayed and streaked, and you see a almost dimensional Gamork begin to stalk forward, leaving images of itself as it zigzags and serpentines across the street, and then it begins to advance, completely concealing which one of it is actually made out of fur and flesh. The others, though, advance as well. And in this moment, you have been giving your orders, but George, what do? Are you sticking to your guns? And in this moment, as Aaron's struggling to get off of Mitch's shoulder to stay with his father to fight, Mitch, what do you do?
I think initially George would like to analyze, see if he could just tell. Maybe, I don't know what, if he has robot, laser lidar that will tell whether or not something will return. I don't know. Just something. I'm just trying to think. Is there a way for him to sense the false or the real one?
I like where you're going with this. Roll me a D12. 1 success gets you something. 2 successes get you more. No successes get you nothing. So in this moment, as you reach out with your senses, you find that even your own kind of robotic radar and sonar and just perception as it is placed out is being disrupted as well. There's almost a static, some type of interference. And it's very much like when the predator takes off his mask and the entire world is out of focus. It's no longer heat kind of displayed. It's all just matte. That's what you are experiencing right now as the world becomes 2D. There is no depth. There is no movement. George, if you were capable of such things in this moment, there would be at least a measure of concern, as a way to defend yourself is becoming difficult to comprehend. You don't know where it's coming from. And what you do see, there are dozens of these wolves in front of you, each of them moving in erratic and serpentine patterns. And you pause for a second. That's not your entire action, but let's jump over to see what Mitch has.
Mitch feels Aaron fighting against him, and he sort of drops down to one knee, kind of shrugs his shoulder. So Mitchell hops down as well, and he looking to Aaron. He says, "Hey, big guy, did we? There's a place in the Magnetine graveyard that your dad once painted like a bush. Is that still there?"
What? And he's looking back at his dad and this advancing wolf, and no roll needed. You're not sure Aaron's ever even been told of this thing. And so it doesn't seem to have any type of, comprehension, or nothing clicks in his gaze. He just looks around as if you asked him a question for a test he didn't study for.
Okay, listen, I need you to follow Mitchell. And he nods to the robot. He's going to bring you to my house.
What? I don't. And then he just keeps looking back at George. And again, no roll needed here. This is just the tell is across his face. He has no intention of doing
that. Realizing that he's not going to leave, Mitch picks him back up through, fighting arms. He looks to Mitchell, kind of shrugs, and just says, "Do what you can," leaving him with George, as he, very much against Aaron's will, is going to move away from this and attempt to save this kid.
Roll me a move because at this point, there are so many copies of the Gamork that you are literally going to have to pass very near several of them as you try to quit the scene.
2 successes.
You move through a couple of them. You realize that there isn't the physical nature. You don't hear breathing. You don't feel the crunch of grass or hear some type of giveaway that might, indicate a physical presence in the area. And you're able to get Aaron most of the way kind of, to the next neighbor's yard. And as you are passing on the sidewalk, Aaron is reaching back for his father, screaming, "Dad." And we go back to George. And in this moment, George, you're being surrounded. And these creatures are beginning to move in on you. and you hear the Gamork's voice, and you're not sure where. It seems to be coming from every mouth that's around. And it says, "Why are you even fighting, little robot boy? What stake do you have in this? Take your son and leave."
Can George tell that Mitch took Aaron and is starting to move out?
Yeah, I'm gonna, no rule needed. You can hear, it's almost like you can hear, just because of Aaron wailing, how they're getting farther away. You can hear kind of like the lessening of the volume as he begins to make distance.
I think hearing that, George, I would like George to at least try, I don't know how, if he just can, turn on his humanity. Turn that back on, now that his son is not there.
No roll is needed. This is a click, but I will ask you to roll investigate. This is a roll that was failed in last session, so I'll ask for it again now that you...
No successes. It's not my night.
You can push if you would like. You can use your shame if you would like. Just remember, everybody, I'm not going to keep saying that because you all know what you can do.
Shame does not incite a condition, right?
Correct, it does not.
So I actually think shame would be applicable here.
And what is your shame?
So his shame is being isolated or being a loner or being alone and forcibly doing so. So I think that he's trying to face that. This is like, yes, he has like the logical parts of his brain wondering if this is even real, if this is hypothetical, is this interdimensional and would snap and we're in a bubble and it just doesn't matter. Or does it, because it's strictly because it doesn't matter, is that part of life? So I think he logically realizes he needs to rely more on intelligence. It's not working for him. Everything that he's failed to do so far, science and logic is not working for him. So he needs something more creative, I think. So.
Okay, fantastic. Yes, absolutely. That works perfectly fine. So that is a success on that investigate. And it's only now as you make this major switch in basically like your UI. And when you do so, a couple things sort of reveal themselves in your vision for just a second before they kind of fade back into the background. And it's that power bar that you always kind of had. It's there all the time, but it just fades into the background. It states it's at 98% right now. But there was something that you didn't notice before. And on the opposite side of your vision, almost like the other corner of the screen, you see download 83%. And then it fades away. Roll me a move as the Gamork attacks.
Yeah, sorry, that's crazy. Okay. No successes.
Before we take off from the scene, Mitch, you hear Aaron scream and again is fighting against you. And do you look back or do you continue to press forward?
No, he continues to press forward.
Then all you do is you hear the sound of George Butts's body crashing into the hood and front windshield of the Mustang in the garage as George takes another condition, which is 4.
And Mike, if you can find a use for a little robot, you have him.
Roll me and investigate for Mitchell. And that'll be our last roll before we peel off.
With the +2 from Mitchell?
Yep, as you normally do. Mitchell's is an extension of you.
Successes.
So just as you crash into the glass, as it shatters around you and kind of clouds your vision with these just reflective fractals, and they tinkle around you as they run down your chest, you look over and pull yourself back up just as Mitchell turns on his full bore of his eye lights, and several of the Gamork images fade away and one remains in high def, the one just to your left. Mitchell has revealed to you where the Gamork actually is. But as we spin up through the air, just a couple football fields away, let me ask my three other players, Shannon, Rob, Jerry, did anybody succeed on that investigate?
Just
Shannon,
Shannon got one success.
So Shannon, as you are sitting there and as the nothing is advancing on you and this situation just over the nothing shoulder, you see what looks like the sun rising in Garrett as this brilliant light appears for just a moment and then begins to recede. But because there is absolute blackness, this is the night, the midnight of Garrett, any light whatsoever is noticeable, but a flare of that magnitude can't help but draw your gaze for a second. In fact, it draws the nothings as he turns and looks over his right shoulder, and you see his head cocked kind of quizzically, like the RCA dog, as he sees something happening up there that doesn't quite fit the plan maybe that was in place for him. But as he spins back around, you realize that the time for talk may be over as he starts to charge you. What would you like to do, Shannon? Oh, everybody, my God, what am I thinking? Turn on track number 5, More Human Than a Human by Robert Zombie.
Shannon, her bounty hunter instincts are kicking in here. She knows not enough about her quarry, does not feel like she has the advantage. So she's going to look for whether it's an elevated position or anything that forces the nothing to go outside of just directly attacking her. That is what she is going to go for.
Roll me an investigate. One success gets you something, more gets you a lot more.
Great. We like a lot more. Please, dice, do nice things. If it will actually, roll.
Right. if it follows orders, right.
Okay. Yeah. Let's see. There goes. One success. I mean, I'll take one. Better than zero.
So here's what you'll do. As soon as you look around, you realize that while the bikes that are lining the street, they seem very respectful and kind of just placed there almost like kids would do so. As the nothing begins to advance, they turn and almost form gates as a fence of these large bikes begin to kind of keep you in Main Street. But you see Dutch in that column of light, and you see him shaking as sweat is pouring down his from his forehead down his cheeks, and you see one of his hands reach up, and you see the finger point above him, and you see all of the awnings, both cloth and metal, of all of the stores along Main Street, and they hang just above and past where the bikes would indicate some type of obstruction. You think you could make it up there.
Okay. Yeah. I will take the cue.
Roll move. You're going to get up there, but the more move you have, the faster you do so.
For sure. Okay. Come on, dice. 2 successes.
Tell me how she gets up there.
Maybe she uses the bikes or like one of the benches on the side of the street to kind of propel her movement a little parkour style as she launches herself up into the awning.
Fantastic. And because of this wall of bikes that are around you now, anybody that would be bearing witness to this moment, Dutch included, would see Shannon as she rides or runs up the wall of bikes, jumping off each of the pedals of these various bikes and starting their back wheels spinning as she makes it to the first awning and turns around. And you look down as the nothing looks back up at you and begins to move, following you in chase. What would you do?
Probably go to the next awning over. You said that there's like a mix of fabric and metal awnings, right?
Correct. Yes.
And is she on a metal or fabric one right now?
Since you climbed up here first, I'll give you your choice. What would you rather be on?
I would rather be on a fabric awning, and she'd like to tear a rip with the back of her ring through the fabric, hopefully making him fall through it if he follows her up there.
I like the way that you think. Roll me a. I will take either a force, a move, or even a tinker here.
Not a sneak, because I'm trying to be sneaky about it.
Oh, I like the way you think. I'll take a sneak.
Okay. Come on. 2 successes.
You were able to do so. I tell you what, roll me a d6. You just don't want a 1.
Okay. Great. Love that. 3.
So you're able to do so, and the nothing does not notice as he climbs the pedals just as you did, only catching them in their spins now, and makes it up to the awning that you are on, stands there for a second. You can see without the features, he appears to be gloating before he drops through the fucking slit that you made as he falls down through, and you hear a very human fuck as he falls down into the area behind the bikes. For a moment, you are alone, and you see the light flicker around Dutch. It flickers for a second and you hear shit, and then it becomes solid again.
Oh, is that so? Okay. Shannon's going to unload her Glock at the nothing and try to get a hold of Dutch.
Roll me 2 shots from the Glock, please.
1 with 3 successes, and the second shot with 3 successes.
Son of a bitch. Okay. we're gonna put this, the gun can't hurt me to fuck, let me get I got my tracker out here. Hold on.
Yeah, it must be nice getting all these successes.
Yeah, now I know why none of us are succeeding in anything.
Roll 20.
Listen, guys, Shannon's
was
literally about to fucking die. Okay, like.
Greg, how does Shannon beat the game?
Right. How does she win things from the flood? Well, we're gonna find out right now. Okay, so Meta with 6 successes. Tell me what you do exactly with the Glock, because the nothing fell through. How do you absolutely unload on this entity?
So my assumption, just because in my brain, this is visuals, correct me, but I want to like basically shatter all of the glass that's right by where he fell. Just like create a distraction. It seems like whenever he either is injured, at least to Shannon, or something happens that breaks his concentration, the flickering started. So she's trying to use that to her advantage. So she shoots out the glass, and then she just takes pot shots at him directly, maybe even goes just straight for the torso. She doesn't think it'll actually hit him just based on what she knows right now, but she's going to go for center of mass with the rest of the shots.
Gotcha. And so what this does mechanically is you are indeed going to slow down the nothing in this moment. But what it looks like narratively is exactly as you say, there is a large kind of shop front window just below the cloth awning. And as you fire into it, you break half of it apart as huge kind of sheets of glass break from the bullet holes. And with sheer force of the bullets and will, you drive the nothing back towards the jagged kind of semicircle and crescent moon of broken glass, and he can't stop himself as he pinwheels back, and you can hear the slicing of something as he pitches backwards into the shop. There is another very distinct, very human fuck that comes from inside the shop. What would you like to do now as the light disappears around Dutch?
She's gonna fireman carry Dutch if he's not moving.
You need to, in this moment, I will let you know this. The light will be down for roll me a d6.
Okay. Come on, dice. 1.
The light will be down for 1 second, which means you need to roll me a move of 3 successes to get to Dutch in time.
We love that. Pray, everybody. Just pray. 2
successes. If you would like to use a shame or push, you may absolutely do so. You just need 1 more.
Just 1 more? I don't need to get 3 success like right after this? If I push?
If you push, you already have 2 successes. You just need to
Oh,
get
okay,
one
okay.
more to, yeah.
Okay, I'm pushing. 2 more.
You basically tackle Dutch a millisecond before the column of light appears again. And as you roll back out into Main Street, you take a condition from just you don't even concern yourself with your own physical well-being as you dive through some of the glass, through some of the shards of the bikes that are kind of scattered about in their debris, and you crash into Dutch, take him out of the light into the street. And as the light peels back up, Dutch looks at you and falls into your arms. In this moment, he says nothing, but for maybe the first time in your life, you can hear Dutch weeping as we zip up through the air to a couple football fields away as we reach Rob and Jerry. Jerry, you are surrounded now by Nothlings. Rob, you have attempted to get in touch with Ben, and with those successes that you had, you see that Ben begins to wipe his eyes for just a second, and very similar to the Nothing that cocked his head like the RCA dog, kind of cocks his head like he hears something, but then shakes it off. The two of you are on your track. The track is advancing. You all are still in the middle of Rose Hill Cemetery. My two warriors, my two heroes, what would you do now?
Well, since Jerry's failing, he'll probably shout out to Rob. We're out of time.
It's been like 5 seconds, Jer.
Out.
To rock steady, rock into the break of dawn. And he's gonna kind of like he's holding on to the bubble, and he's like face into it. I mean, I hope it's not like it doesn't like zap me away or something. But he's
No,
gonna,
there's no energy repelling you or anything like that.
yeah, it's gonna be like he's got his face on some glass. Steady. Yeah, and he's
Okay.
trying to like hum it into the thing and try to just get his attention.
Roll me a charm.
Ooh, so charming. 1 success.
You hear Ben, who is still just weeping. He begins to hum Rocksteady. But they are on both of you now, and I need you both to roll a move just to avoid the first barrage of blows that are falling and being basically thrown from everywhere here. Jerry, you sort of see them coming, so you're able to move out of the way and not take any damage per se. You're getting kind of pulled away from Jerry, but Jerry, you're able to kind of not take any damage as you move away. But Rob, you don't see them coming, and one of these shots takes you in the back of the head and bangs you into the force field. You take a condition from this action as everything is standing around, and let's roll me an investigate. You're going to get this no matter what, but you might get a little bit more.
2.
All right, so Rob, as you get your bell rung for a second and you turn around, you see that as the kind of the Rose Hill, its namesake, rises up to what would be your right and behind Jerry now, you see there's almost like a choir of these Nothlings that are standing and not advancing. They're like bearing witness to all of this. But if everybody goes to their Spotify playlist and cues up track number 7, Don't Fear the Reaper. Much like you were singing Rocksteady to our good friend Ben, you hear from the choir a very monotone, a very drab, a very dirge-like, all our times have come, here but now they're gone. Seasons don't fear the reaper. And as Blue Oyster Cult takes hold here, but sung more like the hymn of some lost spiritual, Jerry, Rob, you are surrounded by darkness, much like Jon Snow in the Battle of the Bastards, as you're in the middle of this sea now of nothlings. Escape is now or never, unless you have something else you'd like to try, as Ben hums Rocksteady.
We're out of time. Jerry's
Yeah.
gonna like reach out a hand to grab Rob, and knowing that Mr. Derry, the Nuthling, has a lightning rod, I would like to use my shame as well this session, Greg.
Absolutely.
Ooh.
I'm going to blast us a hole through these people, through whatever these are, with my lightning, because killing felt right once and it does today again.
Fantastic. So you're going to succeed at this no matter what, but roll me a d12 too.
Maybe Jerry's the psycho.
It's a 5.
Most of the lightning still gets diverted to this lightning rod being held by the Nuthling of Mr. Derry, but you are able to summon so much. It's almost like you fire with your right hand and it gets ripped up into the sky, but then you turn and with your left, you're able to literally blast a canyon through these Nuthlings. And for a moment, there is a path of escape towards the central mausoleum of Rose Hill Cemetery. What do you both do in this moment? Rob, you can act first.
So when you're grabbing Rob, are you like grabbing him by the like back of the shirt? You tugging his arm like?
Probably grab him like by the shoulder, or grab the scruff of the neck.
Okay, then Rob's gonna he's gonna give into it, but he's gonna slam his hand down onto the bubble one more time and scream for Benjamin.
Roll me a charm.
He's pulling out the full government. One success.
You would see for a moment inside his grief, Ben again cocks his ear like the RCA dog, and he says, Rob, and you are pulled away as Jerry begins to lead the charge with lightning flying. I need you both to roll a move roll. One success avoids problems. No successes gives you problems.
Ooh.
So much like Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid, but with a decidedly better outcome than the end of the movie, the two of you are running through this as, you know, for a moment, Kendall, as you look back towards Ben, you see him kind of look up for a moment. He doesn't make eye contact or even look in your direction, but you can see you reached him for just a second as the Nuthlings kind of jump and hop in your field of vision, but you are being pulled away. The only illumination now, because of the darkness that's kind of encompassing you from the sky and the Nuthlings themselves, is the brilliant blue lightning that Jerry is producing to literally cut a path through these fuckers. So you both start running towards the central mausoleum as a pack of hellish entities rush behind you. And I'll give you this one for free. As you bust towards the mausoleum, a kind of stocky, smaller figure steps forward, and the face of Sarge meets you as he stands in your path. And through the sky we go, back to the home of George Butts. Let's start with Mitch. Mitch, you have escaped the scene as it stands right now. Your wounds are severe. You have been, hit pretty well. You've been healed a bit. You're not in critical damage, but you look terrible. Aaron is still struggling to try to get back to his father. It does not sound like it's going well. What do you do in this moment?
Mitch, muscle memory is the map of Garrett. Mitch hasn't left Garrett in 10 years, and for many of those years, the sneaker network was his mode of transport. He does not need to remember how to get to Teletran. So he is holding on with everything he has to Aaron because he fully well knows that if Aaron is anything like George, as soon as he figures out that he can overpower Mitch, he will try to overpower Mitch. So he's trying to run as fast as possible while holding tightly onto this kid, but his head is on a swivel, looking at everything that is different about Garrett. He doesn't have a lot of time, and Mitch runs on information. So the more he can get, the more he understands things. So while his body carries him in the direction he needs to go, he's just looking at all the different things, the kaleidoscope of what is Garrett now, the different slices of reality, of time, of whatever, just trying to see anything that could be useful now or in the future.
Roll me and investigate. 1 gets you something, 2 gets you more, 3 gets you everything.
Cross those fingers. 2.
As you're running, you notice a lot of changes, especially since the spare second was a moment frozen in time from 87. And so, there's a lot of differences here because you're looking at slices of life that were before that time, that were after that time, that were way, way, way before that time. And so it's almost like walking into your room and somebody put the bed on the other side of the wall. Like it's that different. It's the same place, it's the same space, but there's just noticeable changes, especially to somebody that is as knowledgeable as you are about this particular town. But one thing catches your mind, it's over and over again, and it's almost like it's hidden. It's almost like you see this word written over and over again, but it's not done overtly. It's not like spray painted on the sides of buildings. In a weird way, like you see an L that is on the sidewalk written in chalk, and you see a T that seems to be a small tree beside it. And everywhere you look, you see Alta.
Okay. Does it look? It looks hidden.
Yes.
Okay.
This is definitely a perception thing. It's almost like one of those video games where you have to line up a bunch of stuff to see, the world or the picture come into frame. You're standing in the perception, and the depth perception kind of lines up. It's that type of thing. Like you'll run through a specific area and everything lines up and you can see Alta. And now that you are looking for it, you see it everywhere. At every block, you see it 2 or 3 times.
Okay. He's gonna lock that down. But he needs time to process, and Teletran's where he processes. So he's gonna continue running towards where he knows Teletran to be and hope that it's still there.
Okay, roll me a move, and this will decide how far you go. Aaron, the entire time, is screaming, "Daddy's hurt, Daddy's hurt," and he's trying to fight off of your shoulder.
2 successes.
You get to the top of the hill, the one that you all usually would ride your bikes down. Sometimes you would do this to chase people back to a grass house. But as you're running down this hill with Aaron over your shoulder, you see directly down into Main Street. This is the main thoroughfare of Garrett, and you see crumpled in the middle of the street. In fact, you bear witness to the escape. The column of light appears again, but you see Shannon and another figure that you don't recognize at this distance with 2 successes smash into the middle. You're not sure if they're fighting. You don't know what's going on, but that is Shannon Locke in the middle of Main Street, just a few football fields away.
He runs in that direction.
So as
That's
you
the same direction to Teletran, right?
Correct.
Yeah, he's running straight down that street.
Perfect. George, let's go back to you as you smash into the Mustang. But as you look up, you see Mitchell, the little robot, is waving his arms, and you see one very detailed and distinct Gamork among the illusory, faded, transparent versions that it's created. It does not seem to notice that Mitchell has taken its cover.
Oh, man. I'm torn. I think George can't help but remain. This is a real fight or flight moment, I guess. So I think he's going to scramble out of the wreckage of the Mustang. And he's going to look straight into the Gamork's eyes.
The Gamork, for again, that a supreme intelligence that you noticed in last episode, it definitely knows that you're not just getting lucky with this gaze, and it realizes immediately that this illusion that it's created, that it used with the streetlights to power up and kind of instill this deception, has failed. And it looks at you and takes a step back. What do you want to do, little robot boy?
You know, at first, I wasn't sure what to do with you, but I think bad dogs need to be put down.
It snarls. You see its fangs, and that split mouth that you gave it with the shears kind of creates even a deeper, almost two-faced type of gash on the side of it as it peels back in this wolf's head grin. What do you do in this moment? As everybody go to your Spotify playlist and turn on the Dresden Dolls, number 1, coin-operated boy.
Well, I know what I want him to do, but I think what George feels is necessary is that he doesn't know if this is worth running from. It's just going to keep following. Can you really lose a hound? So I think he just knows that he has to handle the situation, handle the threat, and he might not make it out, but that's his thought. You know, maybe this kid can still get away. Maybe Mitch will figure something out. Maybe the rest of the kids will figure something out. Well, I guess not kids anymore. Yeah, so he's recognizing he has to be a robot of action right now. So I think he's going to pull from deep within and just, you know, use his whole body to gain super speed momentum and just charge the Gamork.
Roll me a d12, and because you reactivated your humanity, you get an automatic success on top of whatever you roll.
4.
You may push. You've already used your shame. I will note that you have 4 conditions right now.
Yeah, so pushing would put me at 5 out of 6. I think it's a worthy...
Yeah, let's discuss this moment narratively. In this moment, George knows this is it, right? That this is... You just narrated what he feels in this moment. I'm going to tell you what. I will allow you to make this roll, and you will not get a condition on a 10, 11, or 12.
Okay. 11.
So I love it, buddy. I love a good gamble. With 3 successes, tell me how you send this fucker flying.
It is just an absolute trope of a speed run. Like, I'm talking Christopher Reeve's original Superman. It looks super fake. He's walking. It just looks super fake, but it is speed, and he's low. And he hits him with the uppercut, and he jumps 10, 12, 20 feet in the air, knocking just the absolute piss and shit out of this dog, and flings it, hopefully, in my head, imagine him just flying over fences or over a bush or something out of sight.
And because of that baller roll where you literally put your character on the line, my friend, as you come forward and uppercut this thing with the speed that you described, the Gamork's head snaps back. Those eyes, so full of intelligence, roll back into its head as it goes flying to the next block. And as almost in slow motion, as George kind of lights back down on the sidewalk in front of his house, you hear one of the car stereos come on, and it says, "Coin operated boy," as you land. And in that moment, in the corner of your vision, the download says 100%. And you're somewhere else. But we'll find out where that is in a second as we go back to Rose Hill Cemetery for a moment before we head back to Main Street. You guys don't get coin operated boy. So go back to Don't Fear the Reaper, number 7, everyone. I feel like Jackie Emrock again. Boys, you are running. Sarge is in front of you, and you see him. He has what looks like a broken flagpole, the jagged end as a spear, and he is aiming to throw it at Jerry. I need move rolls from both of you to avoid this attack. Any failure will be 2 conditions. The two of you split, and as you split, this huge spear, this broken flagpole, shoots through you with a power and a force that would make George's recent punch maybe rival it for severity and violence, but it misses, and you actually hear it pierce God knows how many, shish kebab, how many of those nothlings are in your wake. And so in that moment, as you two move, Sarge is still in front of you. He's deciding which one of you to move against. Are there any volunteers as you head towards the opposite side of Rose Hill Cemetery? The shadows just behind.
I think I might have to leave this one to Rob. I think Jerry will falter seeing that it's Sarge. Maybe not stop entirely, but definitely slow.
Is it very obvious that he's not with us?
You mean he is a nothling? Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, he has all the characteristics of all of these that you've seen before.
Rob's first off gonna yell, "They got fucking Sarge!" And he's gonna get up and look over at Jerry to kind of gauge if Jerry's gonna charge with him, or I know you said you're like
Yeah, he's on the back foot, but he'll like shake it off, kind of clap you on the shoulder. Let's go.
Yeah.
Rob, the only way out is through. How do you go through Sarge?
Like a truck. He is gonna, tackling kind of worked once, but I don't think it's gonna be a full tackle. I think he's just gonna try to center mast hit him.
Are you throwing any of your magic into this?
Yeah. No, I'm going like, was it Iron Man? Kind of like
Repulsor blast? Sure thing.
Yeah.
Give me a D12.
7.
With 1 success, you are able to knock Sarge back, and you see a hit that probably would kill one of you as he hits one of the tombstones and cracks the marble behind, the granite behind it. It splits as he hits and slides down, but you see him slowly begin to get back up. He is not done, but he is out of your way. Ahead of you is the largest mausoleum from the biggest family in the area, the Clevengers, and you see the name kind of like scrawled above the top of the mausoleum. But you know that just beyond this is the edge of Rose Hill Cemetery. And while several of these graves appear in the early stages of being disturbed as they are starting to climb forth, only the ones that are active are behind you. What do you want to do here, guys?
So you're saying the ones in front of us are still kind of in the throes of growing. They're not, or yeah, okay.
Correct.
Okay. I just clarification.
Yep. They're not combatants yet. You think, in a round or two they would be.
Yeah. Okay. Rob's just gonna kind of look at Jerry and go, come on, while it's like trying to get up because he wants to run.
Yeah, I think we just move towards safety we see in the distance.
Okay. Is anybody like chancing a glance back to kind of ascertain or tactically be aware of what the enemy's trying, or is this just blindly running as fast as you can forward?
For Jerry, it's only forward.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I think in this specific situation, it's gonna be push forward, run.
Okay, roll me a move. You want to have at least 1 success, but 2 successes will get whoever rolls 2 successes to safety, relatively.
Ooh, Jerry got 2. I got 1.
Well, that's it, Greg. You just got to ask me for 2, apparently.
Right, there you go. I'll make sure I give you that kind of incentive each time, my friend. All right, so Kendall, as you kind of slip for a second, Rob goes down. He's not in, doesn't appear to be in any kind of threat of being attacked for a moment. You guys have made some good time, but Jerry, you're able to hop over the like the wrought iron fence that's in front of you, land and turn around. Roll me an investigate.
Nothing.
That was an investigate to not see what you're going to see now. So as you turn around to see Rob kind of slip and fall to the ground, but immediately get up like on one knee and start running, you see on the namesake of Rose Hill, that rise in the middle, you see a figure stand up and look at you, and you see the nothing visage of Scarlet looking back at you. And a second later, you see Ben join her. The inky blackness of the nothing gripping around him as Ben too has become a nothing. Rob, you don't see any of this as you're running towards Jerry. I need you to roll an empathize or take a condition, my friend. This is for Jerry. For Jerry.
Oh.
Take a condition, my friend. And you see them begin to walk towards your position. They seem to be floating as they do so. What do you say as Jerry, you realize that these nothlings, if Jerry or if Rob falls again, they're not going to reach you, Jerry. Rob will get caught. I will allow an action from Jerry if you think Jerry could act in this moment, and I need one more move roll from Rob.
You want to go first?
Can Jerry go?
No, I think he's stunned.
Okay. All right. I 100% with that. Let's try this.
Jerry, as you can push or use your shame here.
Well, I was gonna say the leadership dice, but I guess I would have had to declare that before I rolled initially. So, what am I? How many? Okay, I see. Yeah, I'm gonna push it. I need to succeed on this.
Rob takes a condition, and Jerry, you see as you're looking directly up at these kind of floating figures of Scarlet and Ben coming towards you, and your eyes are drawn down almost in this dream state, this absolute fugue, like just, you know, like you had your bell rung, and you see Jerry or Rob slip and fall again and hit the ground, and a pile of nothlings jump and begin to pull on him as Rob takes another condition. That's 4 for Rob. As we zip up through back to Main Street. Roll me an investigate, Shannon.
This is nice. This is really special. Come on, dice. Please. The anticipation is
right
killing me. Truly. One success.
with one success, as again, Dutch has like fallen into you for a moment. Even in this state, Dutch isn't going to allow himself to be uncool for too long, even though Dutch is older and he's not a kid anymore. But there is still that moment of bravado that just keeps him from like completely losing his shit. This is as much of his shit lost as you've seen. But he hugs him as soon as he pulls back just to look at you. You see over his shoulder as you see Mitch running down the street with Aaron over his shoulder as he comes just absolutely hauling ass. And you, being the only person that saw the sunrise in Garrett, realize that he's coming from the exact same position of that light. In this moment, you all are both, Mitch and Shannon, you are within shouting distance of one another. You are within one round of being together, unless you kind of meet in the middle. But tell me what you do. Right now, there is no sign of the nothing, no sound of the nothing. Whether he has quit the scene, who knows?
Yeah. Shannon first asks if Dutch can walk, run, any move. Can you move?
He absolutely jumps up and, without asking, begins to assist you in getting up. And there is a moment where you can see his Adam's apple is just absolutely quivering. He can't vocalize anything, but you hear one broken word: thanks.
She kind of smiles at him very briefly before turning towards where Mitch is running from, checking to see if he's running away from anything because she doesn't want to run towards more danger at the moment. So does she see anything?
With your earlier investigate, you don't see anything chasing him.
Okay. Um, Based on the location, are the bikes still blocking the path, like where we are now, or is it like
It was basically, yeah, think of it like this. It was to keep you in a gauntlet. Like you were kind of in
Yeah.
a box canyon. There was a wall of bikes behind you, but in the
Okay.
side where the nothing was coming from was open. That was the way
Okay.
out, basically. Yeah. So you can see
Okay,
Mitch, and there are
so
no obstacles in your path.
okay, so we would need to go out the way that Mitch is coming towards us, basically, to get out of this box.
Correct.
Or
Yes.
okay.
Unless you wanted to climb
Uh,
again or do something like that.
no. She's going towards Mitch with Dutch, and she's gonna yell in the process, "Don't come over here! You know, it's not safe. So just stay over there." Like,
I think based on how well Mitch knows the town, he will come to as quick of a halt as possible, um, uh, and like look to the whatever street is running perpendicular where we are now. He's just going to start hooking onto that street, and while hearing what Shannon says, he leaves it up to her what to do. He says, "Butts is fighting the Gamork. I gotta go." And he immediately like skids on his sneakers and then turns down a road to find a new path to Teletran.
When you're saying you're running down the street and you hooked a right.
Yeah,
to
as
kind
soon
of-
as she says don't come this way, you can't get out this way. He's going to readjust his direction to another side, like a side road to get back to where he's going, which is still Teletran. But in doing so, shout to Shannon that Butts is fighting the Gamork.
Absolutely. So roll me and investigate. You already your path is set. You know this. We already established that Garrett is something that you know your way around better than anyone.
Success.
Mike, as you round the corner, and again, Shannon, you would see him just basically right at the edge of where the bike fence ends. He kind of cuts into the nearest street. This is the street that has several things on it: the police department, the library. To the left is actually the parking lot for the paperback exchange. A little farther forward, you would run into the House of Sarge, and then up the hill to Maplehurst Mall. But as you round the corner with your investigate, Mike, you're able to see that where the library once stood, it has been burning. And you see that half of it is kind of crumpled. The other is kind of glowing embers and ash, as if something stopped it from completely consuming the building, but 2/3 of it is gone.
Wild. Is it like actively on fire?
It looks like it had been on fire. It's one of those things where, left untreated, or it could catch again if the wind caught it right. You can still see red glowing embers all through this. Strangely enough, there is no smell of wood smoke or burning associated with the visual that you're seeing.
If only Mitch didn't have a child on him. That seems like bait all day long. But the safety of this robot kid is the only thought in his mind right now. So he, again, much like the Alta thing, he logs strangely burning library, logs that in the back of his mind and continues as quickly as possible to what he considers the safest place and or his home.
Fantastic. As you round that corner and take off, Shannon, Dutch is with you. What would you like to do as you see Mike peel off to your left as you look back in his direction?
She's gonna follow Mitch, just because she doesn't really know what the fuck is going on with anything else at this point, and he said he was that Butts was fighting something, so she doesn't know what the situation is. There's no point of trying to pull her and Dutch potentially who's injured. She doesn't really know, so she's gonna follow the direction of Mitch. I don't know if she can deduce that he's going towards Teletran, but she's just gonna follow that direction.
Roll me an investigate.
Okay. One success.
Yeah, you get the idea that from the way that Mitch was, that he wanted to go the direction that you were in, but when he saw that it was impeded, he headed what you would realize is the quickest kind of like way to circumvent that. The only thing to the south would be Teletran or Tradewind. So it's one of those two things at this point. So you're able to kind of, you and Dutch are able to move and at least keep Mitch in sight and close the distance a little bit because Mitch is carrying something. But that story will remain here for now. As instead, if you could go to your Spotify playlist, everybody, and turn on track number 6. George, as you see download 100%, and as the image of the Gamork flying 100 feet away from you, as you touch down on the sidewalk in front of your house, you blink your eyes and open them again, and you are in your father's study. There is sunlight pouring in through the window, and you see that the house is quiet, and the green monitor that you had just been looking into in the darkness with Aaron is humming pleasantly. There are blueprints on the walls, and you realize quickly that these blueprints are of a make and model to create a humanoid robot or variations thereof. And as you look around, the door opens and you see Eugene walk in. Oh, hello, George. If you're seeing me, a lot of things must have gone wrong, but at least one thing went right. And before you stands your father.
Dad?
It's me, son.
What's happening?
I think I've something must have gone wrong. But son, I always trust you, but I have to know if it's really you. If I'm wrong, a lot of people could die. So just humor your old man. And he indicates the front yard, the window to his office that faces the front of your house. And he walks over to the window and indicates that you should look out.
Yeah, he would get up and join him.
In the front yard, you see among the interestingly carved and pruned bushes, you and your father playing catch. And a second later, you feel the ball hit your glove as Eugene is across from you looking younger, and your vision is lower, your POV, as you are in an earlier version of your body. You're maybe 10. And Eugene, who is a terrible athlete, is holding the ball. He has a second one, and he goes, "Now I forget, am I supposed to step into this, or is that golf? I'm terrible at this shit." And he throws it, and it's just an awful throw, skips off the ground and rolls to your feet. And you hear your father's voice when he says, okay, I'm throwing this time, and yes, I know my form is terrible, but do you remember this day? You were wearing your blue sweatshirt. And that's not right. What were you wearing?
I was probably wearing a striped polo.
So son, you had your blue sweatshirt on, right?
No, I'm sorry. I wasn't.
What were you wearing?
I was wearing that striped polo with red. I didn't really like it, but mom really thought I looked smart.
You see Eugene nod. That's right. And you blink again, and you can smell popcorn. And you are in the movie theaters in the very last row. And Eugene has his arm around you. Do you remember this? You insisted we sit in the very back. You really wanted to see this movie, and it was a little gory for my taste, but I liked it. I liked it because I was with you. It was summer when we saw that. It was so hot outside. But that's not right. What did he say that was wrong, George?
It would have been fall.
And as you're sitting there, you see the shorts that Eugene has on turn into pants, and a light windbreaker is over his shoulders. And you see that your own clothing changes to something more seasonally appropriate. And Eugene notices the change too. And he smiles. That's right. That's right. And there's another flash, and you are on the very street that you just launched the Gamork into the night air. And you are on a bike. And Eugene is pushing you from behind. And he says, I was so sure you were going to fall. I had already practiced my apology. And you did. As soon as I let go, you fell right over. But that's not right. What did happen?
I was a natural. I didn't need help.
And he looks at you and he says, and that's right, kiddo. And I knew then that you'd be okay without me someday. And with one last flash, you appear back in your bedroom. But this is younger than you ever remember being. This is back when you would have been the biological George. Something that you shouldn't remember, but you do. Every detail. And before you sits your father, crisscross applesauce, and you, maybe 4 or 5, sit across from him, and splayed out in front of you is a leather bag, and the contents of which, all of the marbles looking like little planets, just between the two of you. And he looks down and says, you had a favorite. You had a favorite. It was the blue one with swirls. And what did you call it? Did you call it Lucky? And what's wrong with that, my friend? Because you don't remember it that way.
It was red. It was sparkly. It was like a glitter bomb. And I just said that it was cool.
And that's what you called it. You called it cool. And I thought that you were just talking about it, but you always said that the coolest ones are the ones that stay on the board. The coolest ones are the ones that win. And why not have one called cool? And he stands up. I had to know it was you, son. I'm here. I'm still alive. I'm helping where I can.
Where's here?
I'm in Garrett with those of us that are still fighting, and we're small, but we're making a difference. I can't tell you exactly where we are, but you'll find it if you look for the winter that remembers summer.
Okay, I'll find you.
Son, I didn't get a lot of things right. I tried to solve problems instead of trusting my feelings, but I want you to know I love you, George. Forever. Not a continuation, not a substitute, not a version. I love you. Come find your old man.
Does George even get a chance to respond, or does it just end?
It doesn't. He's standing in front of you.
I would just hug him.
And he hugs you back and you feel it. This is real. This is Eugene. And it's one of those moments that you probably shared younger, but you get a chance in this moment to do it again. And when you pull away, he lifts up his hand and it's closed. And he slowly opens it, and Cool, the marble, is inside, and he hands it to you. And as you take the marble in your hand, you realize that the lights begin to dim, not sinister, not foreboding, not sad, but your dad stays there like he's waiting for you to fall asleep. And when you open your eyes again, the darkness of Garrett has returned, and you stand on the street where you should be safe. The street that you, George Butts, have made safe again. And in your hand, the red marble known as Cool rests. And you gain the following ability. Once per session, you may re-roll any mind roll. And once per campaign, you may take twice the number of conditions in any session, but at the end, you will die. And my friends, that's where we'll end our session of Atari Twilight. Stay tuned for next episode, episode 11, Prime Time.
Fucking A. Okay. That happened. Let's go around, quickly do our outros. They're short here, so we can get the fuck out of here and do our after show and talk about that. We'll start with Mike. Who are you? Where can we find you? What are you up to?
Oh man, my usual spiel. Don't find me. I'm whooped. That was a lot. So
yeah, facts. Meta, same questions.
Yeah, you can't find me anywhere else except for here, pretty much. So don't, yeah, like he said, don't try.
Perfect. Bitters, same questions to you.
Mr. Bitters, I don't do anything. Come back next week.
Frags, same question to you.
Hey, I'm Kindle. Don't find me. Well, you can't find me if you want it. I'm cool with it. I'm on another game on this channel. It's always Bloody and Duskfall. Check it out.
Hell yeah, check that out for sure. And last but not least, Greg, who are you? Where can we find you? What, pray tell, are you up to? Besides torturing us.
Hi, everybody. I'm Greg. I'm Warp Reactor over on YouTube. Join me there if you want to watch some sci-fi reaction videos. But join us next week because it's our penultimate episode, and we got a lot going on, friends. So applause to each and every face you see here.
Yeah. That's gonna be it from us. I hope you guys enjoyed this. From all of us, we will see you guys next time